Hey everyone, Michael Bowman here from VerticalWorks, 16th of June, 2015. Quick word on normalization. Someone sent me an email and I just want to clarify this. Okay, so normalization is not about making your tables prettier. Normalization has nothing to do with necessarily with getting rid of redundant data, although that kind of will happen in a way. But really, what normalization is about, I'm going to give you the definition again. Normalization is the basis for removing functional dependencies from your data in order to reduce or eliminate, update, and delete anomalies in your data. So in an OLTP system, remember to get your data into third normal form. That means the columns in your table, in any table, are dependent on the key, the whole key, and nothing but the key of that table. I should have said row in the table. In other words, you have a table with rows and all the columns in that table row are dependent on the key of that row, right? That's what I meant to say. That's what it means. That's what it's dependent on. That's it. That's third normal form. And that's where you want to be. There's fourth normal form, and there's a couple other flavors of it, but you got to get it into third normal form. Here's the reason. When you denormalize your data and then you issue an update statement or a delete statement, the engine, if you're not careful, you could just wipe out your data because you've denormalized it. When you're going to issue an update or a delete in a third normal form table, basically you can issue the predicate using the key. Just go after the key. Bang, you've taken out the row. You know what I'm saying? Everything's dependent on that key. Get it into third normal form. If it's not, and you consolidate all your data and denormalize it up, you've got to make darn sure when you do, let's say someone changes the name of something because you've denormalized it and it's on an order, and you're changing something in the order, not an order item, but just something in the order at the header level, right? Let's say who placed the order, something of this nature, okay? If you've denormalized order items into orders, you got to make that update for every single order, for every row. You could have 1,000 rows, and you've denormalized it. And so you've got to change it from foo to fee, and you've got to update all. Don't do it. Get it normalized, okay? You should only have to make that change in one spot if you did it right, if you normalized it. Now, denormalization is great for reporting. I thought I made this clear in the database video, but for reporting, when you push your data from a OLTP system over to a reporting system, to report on it, ad hoc reports and just let people beat it up and do all kinds of reports and whatnot, you're actually not just going to copy the database across. You're probably going to want to reconfigure the data, right? As it comes across, you're going to crunch it a bit and transform it. You're going to put it into a star pattern, right? There's all kinds of little things you can do to reshuffle the data. You can use cubes and mine it different ways. And so you're going to reshuffle the data so it's easier to get to based on what it is you need for reporting. You might even take one OLTP system, move the data across. You might actually have 2 or 3 instances of that data configured differently for different purposes. There's nothing wrong with that. So ladies and gentlemen, just remember, on the OLTP side, third normal form, always for your OLTP, at least 3NF, okay? And then push it across to the reporting system for ad hoc reports and reporting. If you have to report off your OLTP, make sure you do query analysis, index analysis, really figure out exactly what the predicates are, build the indexes to support those so that the database has a chance to run those reports without stalling and killing everything. Remember, a lot of the engines, when they get confused, they will just escalate to a table lock. Boom! And all of a sudden, they've locked the entire table. Okay? So if you're running crazy reports, the engine can only handle so much, and it'll get confused and just escalate to a table lock, and you don't want that. Anyway, that's enough. This is Michael Bowman. If you have any questions, give me an email, mbowman@verticalworks.com. Happy coding.